Arnold Schwarzenegger. The very name brings to mind images of unmatched physical strength, cool one-liners, and a magnetic on-screen presence that has captivated generations of action movie fans. But have you ever wondered how a young Austrian boy, who once dreamed of becoming the world's greatest bodybuilder, managed to conquer Hollywood, star in some of the most iconic action films ever made, and even serve as the governor of California? Arnold's remarkable journey from Mr. Olympia to blockbuster superstar has cemented him as one of the most iconic figures in modern cinema. He's known for roles that push the boundaries of science fiction, redefine action hero tropes, and even tickle our funny bone from time to time. Are you ready to take a closer look at some of his greatest films? In today's countdown, we'll be exploring the top 10 best movies of Arnold Schwarzenegger, each of them guaranteed to show you why he's an enduring legend in Hollywood. So, buckle up, get ready for some explosive action, and let's jump right in. Kicking off our list is a film that not only launched a legendary franchise, but also established Arnold Schwarzenegger as an action icon, The Terminator. Directed by a then relatively unknown James Cameron, this 1984 sci-fi classic redefined what a low-budget action horror movie could accomplish. Many fans were amazed to discover that Arnold's role was originally envisioned as a near-silent villain. And indeed, with only a few lines of dialogue, he dominates the screen as the terrifying cybernetic assassin from the future. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to be chased relentlessly with no escape in sight? That's the exact sense of dread the Terminator delivers. Arnold's performance as the unfeeling T-800 was a departure from typical villain roles of the time. It's his imposing physique, combined with his stoic expression, that makes him so believable as a heartless machine sent back in time to change the course of history. Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn provide equally compelling performances, but there's no denying that Arnold is the gravitational center pulling the story forward. Beyond Arnold's intense portrayal, The Terminator became a cultural phenomenon. Its gritty, noir-infused depiction of a future ravaged by artificial intelligence terrified audiences while simultaneously dazzling them with ambitious effects and cleverly woven storytelling. The success of this film propelled Arnold to international stardom, leading to bigger budgets, bigger roles, and even bigger box office receipts. Whether you're a die-hard sci-fi fan or just love a good suspenseful chase, The Terminator remains a must-watch classic that set the stage for an entire generation of futuristic action movies. It's not very often that a sequel not only lives up to, but surpasses its predecessor. Enter Terminator 2: Judgment Day, the 1991 follow-up that revolutionized special effects and raised the bar for action films everywhere. Directed once again by James Cameron, T2 picks up the story years later, with Arnold now returning as a reprogrammed T-800. This time, instead of hunting Sarah Connor, he's protecting her and her son John from a lethal shape-shifting adversary, the T-1000, played chillingly by Robert Patrick. Fans worldwide were stunned by the emotional depth Arnold brought to the role of a machine learning human values. Have you ever found yourself rooting for a robot to master the complexities of human emotion? That's exactly the sort of connection you'll feel during T2. Scenes between the T-800 and young John Connor, Edward Furlong, offer a heartwarming contrast to the relentless action. This is also the film where we get Arnold's iconic one-liner, "Hasta la vista, baby," which became a pop culture staple. The groundbreaking CGI that allowed the T-1000 to morph through metal bars and floors was mind-blowing at the time and still holds up remarkably well today. Terminator 2 grossed over $500 million worldwide, confirming that Schwarzenegger was, indeed, box office gold. Critics and audiences raved about everything from the story's emotional stakes to the jaw-dropping stunts and visual effects. Arguably one of the best sci-fi action films ever made, Terminator 2: Judgment Day remains a high watermark in Arnold's career and in the action genre as a whole. Next on our list is a jungle-set action horror masterpiece that has spawned countless spin-offs, crossovers, and tributes. Predator. Released in 1987 and directed by John McTiernan, this film sees Arnold as Major Dutch Schaefer, leading an elite commando unit on a rescue mission in the Central American rainforest. Little do they know, they're being stalked by an extraterrestrial warrior that hunts humans for sport. Have you ever felt like something is watching you, even when you can't see or hear anything unusual? That primal fear is the backbone of Predator. Arnold and his team, featuring memorable characters played by Carl Weathers and Jesse Ventura, initially think they're dealing with standard guerrilla fighters, only to discover they're up against a far more formidable adversary. The tension is ratcheted up in each scene as the invisible Predator picks them off one by one. What really makes Predator stand out is how it starts as a typical 80s macho action movie, complete with massive firefights, witty banter, and bulging biceps, and then shifts into a survival horror flick. Schwarzenegger's final showdown with the Predator is legendary, pitting raw human ingenuity against advanced alien technology. Did you know that the original creature design had to be completely overhauled mid-production because it looked too ridiculous? Thankfully, Stan Winston's redesign became one of the most iconic movie monsters in cinematic history. Predator cemented Arnold's status as an action superstar and gave us one of his most fearsome and resourceful heroes. In 1990, Arnold took us on a mind-bending journey to Mars in Paul Verhoeven's sci-fi action extravaganza Total Recall. Based loosely on a story by acclaimed science fiction writer Philip K. Dick, the film follows Douglas Quaid, a construction worker who suspects he may have a hidden past as a secret agent. Or is all that excitement just a memory implant gone wrong? Many fans were amazed to discover how effectively the movie blends action, psychological thriller elements, and even philosophical questions about identity. Schwarzenegger's performance brings just the right mix of confusion, determination, and dry humor. Who can forget the iconic scene where Quaid removes a tracking device from his nose, or the high-stakes chases through futuristic Martian colonies? These sequences are complemented by Verhoeven's flair for over-the-top violence and jaw-dropping set pieces. Total Recall also features memorable supporting performances from Sharon Stone and Michael Ironside, each adding complexity to Quaid's shifting reality. Beyond its explosive shootouts and futuristic gadgets, Total Recall asks deeper questions. What if our memories could be bought and sold? Could you trust your own mind if someone else had the power to program it? The film's imaginative production design, cutting edge, at the time, visual effects, and Arnold's larger-than-life screen presence propelled it to box office success. Even decades later, Total Recall stands as a prime example of how Schwarzenegger's star power helped elevate thought-provoking science fiction into mainstream popularity. If you love Arnold for his over-the-top one-liners and explosive action scenes, Commando is basically a highlight reel of everything that makes 80s action cinema so entertaining. Released in 1985 and directed by Mark L. Lester, the film casts Arnold as John Matrix, a retired Special Forces colonel whose daughter is kidnapped by mercenaries seeking to coerce him into a political assassination. Have you ever felt that rush of adrenaline when a film dives directly into non-stop action from the word go? That's Commando. The kidnapping of Matrix's daughter triggers a relentless quest where Arnold is unstoppable, mowing through bad guys, delivering pun-filled zingers, and utilizing every weapon at his disposal. the movie doesn't shy away from the absurd. In one memorable scene, Matrix rips a phone booth right out of its foundation and hurls it around like it's made of cardboard. What truly makes Commando a must-watch is its unapologetic embrace of the action hero formula. A simple story, plenty of explosions, and Arnold's muscular charisma. There's a playful tone underlying all the mayhem, as if the filmmakers knew exactly what type of escapist fun they were creating. Despite receiving mixed reviews from critics upon release, it quickly became a cult favorite and remains one of Arnold's most quoted films. From the moment John Matrix tells a bad guy he'll kill him last to the final showdown, Commando is pure, unfiltered 80s Schwarzenegger. Released in 1994, True Lies was Arnold's third collaboration with director James Cameron, and it's a slick blend of action, comedy, and high-stakes espionage. Schwarzenegger stars as Harry Tasker, a top-secret government agent who keeps his real job hidden from his bored suburban wife Helen, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. The movie balances big-budget spy thrills with relatable domestic comedy, often within the same scene. Did you know that True Lies was one of the most expensive movies ever made at the time of its release? The film's budget is visible in its sweeping action set pieces, which include jaw-dropping helicopter stunts, a chase on the Florida Keys overseas highway, and even an iconic Harrier jet sequence. Arnold fully embraces his dual role as a mild-mannered husband and super agent, while Jamie Lee Curtis delivers a career-defining performance, portraying Helen's transformation from a frustrated spouse to a fearless partner in espionage. One of the film's strengths lies in its comedic tone, achieved through playful banter and outlandish scenarios that still manage to keep the tension alive. The dynamic between Arnold and comedic veteran Tom Arnold, who plays Harry's wise-cracking partner, gives the movie an added layer of levity. Critics praised True Lies for its action choreography, special effects, and the undeniable chemistry between Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis. The result is a thoroughly entertaining watch that proves Schwarzenegger doesn't just excel at blowing things up, he can also keep you laughing from start to finish. Before he was the Terminator or a Commando, Arnold swung swords and conquered mythical realms as Conan the Barbarian. This 1982 fantasy epic, directed by John Milius, is based on the pulp novels by Robert E. Howard. Arnold stars as Conan, an orphaned warrior out for vengeance against the sinister cult leader who destroyed his village. For many audiences, this movie was their first exposure to Arnold's commanding screen presence and chiseled physique. Have you ever been so immersed in a movie's atmosphere that you feel like you've traveled to another world? Conan the Barbarian accomplishes exactly that. Its sweeping vistas, dark temples, and brutal combat sequences create a fully realized fantasy environment that contrasts sharply with more traditional Hollywood fare of the time. Arnold may not say much in the film, but his physicality and intense gaze convey volumes about Conan's pain, determination, and unbreakable spirit. The film's score, composed by Basil Polidorus, has become legendary in its own right, perfectly complementing Conan's epic journey from slave to fierce warrior. Though the film's graphic violence and adult themes drew some controversy, it quickly earned a loyal following and spawned a sequel, cementing Arnold's rising stardom. Conan the Barbarian remains a touchstone for sword and sorcery enthusiasts and a key milestone in Schwarzenegger's evolution into a Hollywood mainstay. In 1987's The Running Man, Arnold steps into a dystopian future where criminal contestants must compete in a deadly reality TV game show to earn their freedom. Loosely adapted from a Stephen King novel under the pseudonym Richard Bachman, the film sees Schwarzenegger as Ben Richards, a wrongly convicted man fighting for his life and the truth, on live television. This film, directed by Paul Michael Glaser, is a delirious mix of satire, neon-lit 80s fashion, and over-the-top action. Have you ever thought about how bizarrely prophetic some older sci-fi films can be? Although The Running Man might exaggerate the concept, it does raise some interesting questions about the voyeuristic nature of reality TV and the manipulation of media narratives. Schwarzenegger's trademark wisecracks and physical prowess are on full display, turning each deathmatch with a themed stalker into a larger-than-life set piece. Richard Dawson's performance as the unscrupulous game show host Damon Killian is another highlight. He's charismatic, cunning, and a perfect foil to Arnold's heroic defiance. While not as groundbreaking as some of Schwarzenegger's other classics, The Running Man has gained cult status, especially for its biting social commentary wrapped in high-octane chases, elaborate costumes, and unforgettable one-liners. If you're a fan of campy 80s aesthetics and want to see Arnold tackle a dystopian reality show, this film is a must-watch. Who says Arnold can't do comedy? In the 1990s, Kindergarten Cop, directed by Ivan Reitman, Schwarzenegger plays Detective John Kimball, a tough police officer who goes undercover as a kindergarten teacher to catch a dangerous criminal. Many fans were amazed to discover just how effectively Arnold's gruff exterior could be played for laughs without sacrificing his credibility as a leading man. At its core, Kindergarten Cop is a fish-out-of-water tale, taking the unstoppable lawman archetype we know so well and dropping him into a classroom full of energetic, unpredictable children. Arnold's comedic timing and willingness to poke fun at his own tough guy image is a big part of what makes the film work. Scenes where he navigates the chaos of a kindergartner's world, everything from dealing with tantrums to awkward parent-teacher interactions, are downright hilarious. But the movie isn't just kid-friendly fluff. There's a genuine crime story underlining the comedic hijinks, allowing Schwarzenegger to flex his action muscles when needed. Kindergarten Cop struck a successful balance between sweet, silly, and suspenseful, earning it box office success. It demonstrated to Hollywood that Arnold had more range than they'd originally credited him for. He could be an action legend one moment and a comedic star the next. If you're in the mood for family-friendly laughs with a dash of action, this is one Schwarzenegger film you shouldn't miss. Rounding out our list is 1993's Last Action Hero, a meta-action comedy directed by John McTiernan that both celebrates and parodies the very genre Arnold helped define. Schwarzenegger stars as Jack Slater, a fictional movie cop who is magically transported into the real world by a young fan who possesses a golden movie ticket. Many viewers at the time were unprepared for the film's tongue-in-cheek tone, which poked fun at the clichés of big-budget action flicks. Have you ever watched a movie and wished you could jump right into the screen and be part of the adventure? That's exactly what happens to the young protagonist, Danny Madigan, who idolizes Jack Slater. Once inside Slater's cinematic world, he marvels at how every car chase ends in an explosion and every gunfight seems free of real-life consequences. Arnold's portrayal of Jack Slater showcases the action hero persona everyone loves, but also cleverly critiques it. The film is filled with cameos: Sharon Stone, Robert Patrick, and even Arnold himself playing Arnold Schwarzenegger. Though Last Action Hero struggled to find its audience upon release, it has since gained a cult following for its playful lampooning of action tropes and its star's self-aware performance. Schwarzenegger transitions effortlessly between blasting bad guys and delivering deadpan humor about Hollywood's formulaic approach to action. The film might not have reached the blockbuster status of Arnold's other projects, but it remains a fascinating and entertaining piece of cinematic meta-commentary, an ambitious attempt to show us the difference between movie magic and reality. Now it's your turn. Which Arnold Schwarzenegger movie on this list is your personal favorite, and what scene made it so unforgettable for you? Are there any you think should have made the cut? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.